Welcome to today's People to People. I'm Glenn Marshall in for Michael Mateer. Let's get started. As many as 40% of people identify as introverted. The common misconception is that introverts don't like people. Our next guest says not only is that not true, but a group of Black introverts like to spend time with each other so much that they'll all get together later on today to celebrate Black Introverts Week. Jeri Bingham is the founder of Hush Loudly, a website, and also the name of her award-winning WGN radio podcast. Jeri, welcome to the show.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Let's talk about introverts, because people say like there's a chance that everybody has a little bit of introverted side to them.
The experts say that no one is 100% introverted or 100% extroverted, that we all have a little of each, and we turn it on when we need to be. So when I need to be more extroverted in the office, or if I'm doing an interview, I turn that on. But my preference is to be chilling at home on my couch, more low-key and calm. But we have both sides of it, and so we use the sides that we need to help us through certain situations.
I can respect that, because I definitely have an introverted side where I want to chill on the couch and just be by myself sometimes and watch TV, Netflix, and chill by myself.
Yes.
But the thing is, though, for you, and what you're doing is that you're getting introverts together. So is that an introverted thing, or is that an introvert extroverted thing? Tell me about that.
Well, I think there are so many misconceptions about introverts. People think we're hermits, we don't leave the house, we don't like people, we can't speak publicly, and that's just not the truth. But that is a stigma that has been around for many, many years. And so the reason that I have this podcast and this brand is to help erase the stigma, debunk the myths, and help people to understand introverts can do everything extroverts do, and sometimes we can do things even better. We're just different. And so since everyone's talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, I think that they should think about that. We're just different. Also, inclusivity should also include personality type. And so I'm just on a mission to educate and also to empower those introverts who don't know their value or worth. It took me a long time to understand what I brought to the table, because we have keen listening and keen abilities to hear. And I use that to my advantage in the workplace and everything I do.
Gotcha. And a lot of people will sometimes look at introverts as if that's like a handicap, but it's not a handicap.
It's not. It's funny how that is, and that goes with that stigma. Like, do you need therapy? Do you need medication? No, I don't need anything. I just need you to give me my space and understand that I'm a little different. And so my needs are similar to yours, but I just may have a little different request. So even like in the workplace, and how extroverts are more external focused, and they derive their energy from external sources, while introverts derive their energy inward. So I have a friend who will go to a coffee shop and have her computer, and she is jiving off of the energy of the movement, the people around her, all the activity, and that helps her be creative. I'm the opposite. I'm more internal, so I need to be in solitude. So at the workplace, I just close my door and have my time in my office. When I'm at home, I'm just in solitude, and that just helps me be where I need to be creative and to think and to focus.
So being an introvert, do you feel like there is a need to get together with other people at some point in time throughout the day, throughout the week, just in your life period?
Oh yeah, and so in the workplace, so I mean, I work a normal job like everyone else, so I have meetings all day long, and so that's what you do, but you turn it on when you need to. But the important thing for introverts is you need to take that time to recharge so that you're at your best. So I kind of advise, instead of booking a 30-minute or 45-minute meeting, instead of doing an hour meeting, change it to 30 or 45 minutes so that you have 15 minutes later to process, think about what just happened, take notes, do whatever you want to do, take a little break, and that's your little recharge to get you back on track for the next meeting. Of course, you know, in your leadership, you have to pull people together. You're in conferences, you're in conference rooms, all of these things. That's a part of the world that we live in. We do live in a world that is extrovert celebrating and extrovert rewarding, so we do have to fit in. And that's where I talk about, even with Black introverts, how it's a whole other sort of issue that we have, because when people can't read us, we're not externally living our lives out loud,
Gotcha.
that's when they try to sort of bring stereotypes in. So that's that unconscious bias.
Gotcha.
If I'm not telling you anything and my demeanor is kind of closed and I'm kind of private, I'm just kind of low key, the way you get to know me may be different from an extrovert who is all out there sharing everything.
And I think like maybe Black Introverts Week, is that something where people can get to understand this more? Because there is that misconception about introverts, and then you throw being a Black introvert on there. Tell me a little bit about Black Introverts Week.
And that's where that came from. So as I've been out here talking to companies and talking to people about introversion, I knew that all these things had happened to me, but it was just me. After talking to other people, I found out that it's very common. So I'll start a new job, and then a month later, people will say to me, I thought you were mean, but I see you're not. And I would say, why do you think that? And it was because I wasn't outward. I wasn't open in the way that they wanted to. And so that's when the stereotypes come in, because our unconscious bias in our mind helps us to sort of characterize a person. So I became the mean or the angry Black woman just because they didn't know me. But then once they got to know me, they saw, oh, she's nice, she's kind, she's all of these things. And so that's something that we have to deal with as Black introverts. And what we're talking about this week and in our panel today is how we deal with that.
I was just about to ask you
so
about
our panel today is with 5 experts, all in leadership, all across the country, one in London and in the UK. And we're talking about strategies and tips. We're talking about our experiences, how we've worked through these misconceptions, and then we'll give tips and show how you introduce yourself in a way that is comfortable for you and comfortable for the majority or whoever you're working for.
That is awesome. Jeri, thank you so much for coming in today. I really do appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
That's going to be awesome. You can visit hushloudly.com and